Harrison Hula, you're watching Hulamusicofficial, and this is the Boss SD-1 Super Overdrive pedal.
The SD-1, which has been around since 1981, comes in a compact and durable yellow-painted die-cast case. It's got a nice, fat, easy-to-operate foot switch on the bottom half, and the optional 9-volt battery can be accessed simply by loosening that switch's retaining screw. The SD-1 has 3 simple, steady, and accurate control knobs. Level controls the amount of wet, overdriven signal mixed in with the dry, natural signal sent to the amp from your guitar. Crank it 100% and you get nothing but the pedal's output. The smaller tone knob in the middle controls the pedal's equalization. Lower equals more bassy and dark, higher equals more trebly and bright. Lastly, the drive knob on the right controls the drive effect itself, ranging from low boost to full-out high-gain bark as you crank it. Above the knobs, at the back of the pedal, is a 9-volt power adapter port. This stomp box currently sells for less than $50 at most vendors new, so between its cost and its features, it's quite the appealing little overdrive box.
This thing has a really warm mid-boosted sound and features asymmetric clipping of the signal, a technology in effect patented by Boss, designed to emulate the sound of an overdriven tube amp. Sometimes when I'm playing chords with this thing, it can sound a bit muddy or even sound nasally when I'm playing leads. And a lot of times it seems to suck the bass out of the mix a little bit. So I end up fiddling around with the EQ knobs on my amp and the controls on this thing to dial in the perfect overdriven tone for whatever I'm playing. Let's hear a few of those tones now, shall we? The SD-1 makes a great clean boost pedal when fed into a clean amp with the level almost all the way up, drive rolled almost all the way down, and the tone at about noon. I can't. The meme's too old, I can't. Roll the tone knob down to about 10 o'clock, kick the level down to around 9 o'clock, and then roll the drive up to around 3 o'clock, and you have yourself a really nice smoky blues tone that goes quite well with a neck humbucker. Roll the drive down to about the 9 o'clock position, kick the level up to about 3 o'clock, and keep the tone wherever you want it, really. I like it at noon for a nice balanced sound. And you get this real nice clean boost that becomes more overdriven dramatically with the change in pick attack. You'll see what I mean. Growly tone I like a lot with my bridge pickup. It's the level at about 9 and the tone and drive each at 12. Into a clean amp still, here's what I like to call the idiot setting, which is all 3 knobs on the pedal full bore. I usually don't like using this because it's not very applicable or nice sounding. A lot of times I'll roll the level down a bit and even the tone a bit too if I want a little more bass, but here it is anyway. Now I'll play with just a little bit of overdrive from the amp and then I'll stack the SD-1 on top of it. Like I said, the casing is very durable, it looks great, and the foot switch and control knobs are basically idiot-proof. It also vibes pretty well with my other pedals. I put it behind my wah, or in front of my delay, or both, and it sounds great. I really like the 9-volt battery option and the really easy access battery door, but they enable my habit of using batteries instead of power adapters for pedals, and then paying for it later when my pedals all die at random times, sometimes even during a gig. But that's my problem, not yours. I do have some legitimate nitpicks though. The foot switch in my experience can come unscrewed with enough toe abuse over time, and the jacks have also rattled loose, leading to some connection issues for me. So while the case itself hasn't fallen apart, the pedal isn't all that durable all around, but that's what I get for being a bull in a china closet. I even had it give me a weird, throaty, growly, nasty tone one time when I had some kind of bad connection at the jacks, and another time when the battery was almost dead, all it would do was kind of moan and fizzle out before dying. Anyway, during normal operation, this thing sounds great, although, as I mentioned before, it can be a bit of a tone suck, and I have to adjust some things on the amp and on the pedal, equalization-wise, to make it sound how I want it to sound. But out of all my nitpicks, probably the most important for some of you pedal geeks out there will be that the SD-1 is not true bypass. It has what's called buffered bypass, meaning that it will alter the tone of your guitar when it's in your signal chain, even when it's not switched on.
I can't really describe the subtle yet noticeable shift in tone when clean. It's even less detectable with amp overdrive. So I took to Audacity to visualize what this buffering actually does. I played clean directly into the amp, then played the exact same thing with the exact same settings all around. Side by side, you can tell that something is up with the buffered tone. The high frequencies are less sparkly, and the mids feel rounder and more pronounced with the buffer. The bass is also kind of scooped out a little bit. It's a very weird balance.
At any rate, the difference is probably irrelevant and negligible anyway. As always, I'm no expert, so your mileage may vary. Regardless, this overdrive pedal is solid. It's versatile, has all the right features, and looks pretty good to boot. I think when I first got this pedal about 2 years ago, I figured it would give me instant distortion and screaming high-gain tones without much effort, but I found that I've had to tinker with it and find its uses as a boost for solos and a way to add creamy overdrive to lead and rhythm lines alike. It can get crunchy, and as you just heard, I like to put it in front of an already overdriven amp to really get some gain. But it's not a crazy pedal. Boss on their website even calls it subtle and smooth, perfect for blues and rock, which I have found it to be. I've put the SD-1 to use for a few different tunes for the jazz fusion group that I'm in. I've used it to try to emulate tones from Santana to Jimmy Page and many more. It's a very capable and very versatile pedal that you can pick up for $50 or less new, and even less than that used, which, along with its design longevity and its reputation as a professional gigging pedal, drew me to it to begin with.
Overall, this is a solid overdrive pedal that stacks up well against others on the market. I've compared it to an Ibanez Tube Screamer, and much to the imaginary disappointment of its brand brother I've been using here, I didn't like it as much as I do the Boss. I'll give the SD-1 an 8 out of 10 rating. Even though some things still nag me, it's a mainstay of my novice pedal board, and it's worth putting on yours too.
Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you feel so moved, and Happy New Year! Have a safe and prosperous 2019, everyone.